Hey guys, I'm Mel and today I'm going to talk about NaNoWriMo. So this year, for the 4th year in a row, I'm going to participate in NaNoWriMo. If you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, it's National Novel Writing Month. And it's this really cool thing where you write a book in a month. You have to write at least 50,000 words in order to win NaNoWriMo. I've won the last 2 years. I didn't win my first year because I wasn't prepared at all for the craziness that was NaNoWriMo, but the last 2 years were amazing. So I've had a lot of different experiences writing this book. The first year I won, it was 2014, and I was living in London, and it was completely different because I met people. I used to go to write-ins where people used to write together. I went to a night where we wrote the entire evening until the next morning. It was a crazy year, but the thing is, I don't even remember what I wrote that year. I mean, I have a faint idea. Last year was much more calm. It was a different approach because I had just moved to Buenos Aires and I don't really know a lot of people that participate in NaNoWriMo here. And especially was different because I write in English, and both of the first year I participated in NaNoWriMo, I was living in a country where everyone spoke in English. I write in English because I read in English and it's much more easy for me to get the flow of the words. And honestly, I don't think I write that well in Spanish. I mean, I haven't tried it in so long that I think I wouldn't be good at writing in Spanish. So last year I was writing in English in a place where I always speak Spanish, and it was just weird. But this year I think I'm going to make it much more interactive. I'm going to do vlogs. I did vlogs last year. I did weekly vlogs, and I'm going to do the same thing this year. I just want to interact with a lot of people that are going to participate in NaNoWriMo. It's also kind of an excuse to procrastinate, speaking with people participating in NaNoWriMo, but you're actually procrastinating. But no, I just really find it really motivating to talk with people that are also participating in NaNoWriMo. And this year is going to be very different as well because I'm writing the same book I was writing last year. I know you are supposed to start fresh, but the thing is, if I abandon this project, I'm never going to pick it back up. I'm not a writer. I don't plan to be a writer. It's not like my biggest ambition to be a writer. So I don't write in my everyday life. So I just take NaNoWriMo as just 1 month to take all of my creativity out. I just think the entire year of what I want to write, and I just let it completely out on November. It's just something that I've been doing for the past 4 years, and something that I'm going to do this year as well. But the thing is, this year I have just been thinking about the book that I was writing last year, and the thing is, I organized it so well. I had how many words I had to write every day to fill the 20 chapters that I wanted to make, and I actually outlined what every chapter would be. But the thing is, I actually wrote half of the book because the chapters were longer than I thought they would be. So at the end, even though I wrote more than 50,000 words, I left it in the middle. So I really want to pick it back up and just finish it because there were so many things that are in my brain that they are never going to come out if I don't pick this book back up. I'm planning to write the other half of the book that are going to be 50,000 more words. I actually have a notebook with all of my plans for this book. I had all the things that I wanted to make, all the things that I wanted to write, and there are pages and pages of things that I haven't even looked at in a year. So this month I've been reading what I wrote last year, and I've been editing some things, but not very much because I don't want to edit an entire book in a month, especially in October with everything that's happening with On Voices October and everything. It's not something that I do very actively, but it's just something that there are things that I'm going to change in the plot and with the characters. I'm doing it much more on voices. I plan to put on words everything I learned this year, and I've learned so much this year. Even though the book was kind of on voices, it's not really, because even though my main character's parents are from Argentina, she's not. So I'm just going to make her from Argentina, but she's going to move to London because it wouldn't make sense if it would take place in Argentina. So this year I officially put my book in the LGBT plus genre, which I'm still not sure is a genre, but it's there in NaNoWriMo. But my book is more of a paranormal, it's kind of an X-Men thing, but much more political and much less superhero-y, if that makes sense. I mean, the characters do have superpowers, or not superpowers, just like little powers. They are not like X-Men, but it's kind of like that because the government wants to use them as weapons. It's just something that I've been wanting to write for a while because I'm very much into political stuff. So I always add like the fight between revolution and the government. And revolution is something that I always like to write because it's something that I feel like I have inside me. I want to lead a revolution. Even if I can do it in real life, I will do it in fiction. Also, as I said, my book is in the LGBT plus category. So all my characters were a little bit gay last year, but this year they're going to be like super out. Like my main character is going to be bisexual, obviously. She wasn't out last year, but it was kind of headed there, even though the main romance, it's not going to be like a very big romance. It's not a romance book. She falls in love with a guy, but at the beginning of the book she's kind of crushing in a girl. It's not explicitly said in the book. Now that I read it back, it's so obvious that I didn't notice last year. It's so crazy. I didn't do it intentionally. She's just like admiring this girl. Unfortunately, that girl doesn't like the main character because the main character is kind of lost. And this girl is very sure on herself. She ends up falling in love with another girl. Spoilers. So what else am I saying? I didn't script this video at all. I bet you can tell. So I'm starting in chapter 11 this year. I have no idea how it's going to end. I didn't have any idea last year, and I don't have any idea this year. I'm very much a pantser, like I don't organize things. I kind of organized last year because I'm very all over the place. There is this scene that I want to write. It's not a romance book, like I said, but I'm very romantic. Like I love books with a little romance. I love these scenes where it's only like two people bonding and getting to know each other. And there is this scene that has been in my mind since the beginning of last year, and I haven't written it yet, and I don't know when it's going to happen. But there's this scene that is inspired by the song Samson from Regina Spektor. It's going to be such a monumental day when I get to write that scene. So if you watch my vlogs, like I'm probably going to cry when I write that scene. Like it's such a stupid scene in the big spectrum of things. Like they are fighting the government and they are trying to construct this revolution, but to me that stupid scene that is probably not going to be more than 2 pages is the scene that I want to get to. There are so many people and they have bands and they play instruments and they love music. There's this book that is called Sweet Thing by Brené Carlino, and she adds so many songs to her book, and there are so many songs now that I can't hear without thinking of scenes of that book, and I want to do the same. I want to add a lot of music, and that people, I mean, I'm never going to publish this, but if people would read this book, they would associate songs with this book. Anyways, I think that's everything I want to talk about. I'm sorry if this video is super long, and hope you're participating as well. Even if you don't think you can do it, like participate, come talk to me and procrastinate with me. No, I mean let's motivate each other, and I'm going to leave the link of my user in the description so you can add me as a buddy. Yeah, that's everything. Hope you like this. If you did, subscribe, and I will see you when I see you. Bye!